Hello, figments of my imagination. Brighter Shores has been out for 3 weeks now, and I still haven't put out my review. I said I would do one early, but I felt like it was probably better to at least complete the campaign and explore all the different professions and side quests. Well, after 100 hours of gameplay, I finally think it's time to share my thoughts. As usual, jump to the time on the screen if you just want the verdict and to avoid any potential spoilers. Otherwise, let's get started. Brighter Shores is an isometric MMO with a fairly unique take on content thanks to its episode system. The idea is that each episode has its own set of professions, including combat, to allow for each episode to feel fresh. The rewards from those professions frequently have tie-ins with professions from other episodes, such as monster drops in episode 3 being used for potions in episode 1. I know a lot of people were initially turned off by this system, especially since it requires you to effectively start at combat level 0 with no equipment in every episode. However, I found that this requirement effectively forced you to interact with more of the zone. For instance, I entered episode 2 with guard level 20 and an epic weapon. If I got to keep that level and weapon, I could have ignored the entire zone combat-wise. As it was, I had to do some grinding to obtain episode 2 specific armor and weapons, and explore more of the zone because of it. I see why some people take issue with that, but I found it surprisingly refreshing. Back to professions, each episode has a combat profession, 1 or 2 gathering-style professions, and a few crafting-style professions. Gathering professions, such as fishing or foraging, give you materials to enable the crafting professions, such as alchemy and cooking. The gather then craft flow is a staple of pretty much every game these days, and for good reason. There's something innately satisfying about gathering all the ingredients for something, then creating it yourself. That's essentially the entire gameplay of Runescape, and the same holds true here. Sprinkle in some quests, cheeky British humor, and monsters, called a day. But one huge problem became clear to me as I was grinding out carpentry for one of the side quests. In Brighter Shores, efficiently leveling the crafting skills is typically less about gathering materials yourself and more about just buying them from a vendor. The vendors stock all materials for any given profession as long as you're the correct level to use them, and many crafting recipes' final products sell for close to, or sometimes even more than, the materials required to craft them. And obviously running to a vendor is significantly faster than gathering all the materials yourself, especially with travel time. Now, while some recipes are profitable, there are some skills, like carpentry, where you always lose money. That initially seemed bad, but the money you lose is very minimal, as long as you make the right things, which the wiki can help with. Beyond that, money itself becomes trivial after episode 4, creating even more incentive to just vendor your way to max level. Honestly, this is my biggest complaint about the game. I think that this current vendor system is only the way it is because player trading hasn't been implemented yet, so vendors kind of fit that role. But if we get trading and they stick around, then I probably won't. I just don't enjoy running to a vendor, buying 24 things, running back to a crafting station, running to another vendor to sell my product, then running back to the original vendor to do it all again. It's boring, repetitive, and just feels bad. There's none of that innate satisfaction I was talking about earlier, and that sucks. I will make a special note for episode 4 professions though. These professions flow so well together, well, minus leatherworker, which at this point is literally just a vendor profession. Merchant has you run all around the city to various vendors, where you can use detective to stop thieves at those vendors, and if you level detective enough, you can open shortcuts around the city to expedite your merchant runs. But doing that requires watchperson levels as combat's involved. The whole system just gels nicely, and it feels like each skill builds on each other in a great way. Another great feature is the idol system. At level 20 in your first profession, you unlock the knowledge system, which allows you to turn knowledge points, gained over time by doing any XP granting profession action, into XP or money. You can also use these points to unlock idle activities in any skill over level 20. These idle activities give a low amount of XP and resources, but they continue for up to 24 hours while logged out. This whole system feels pretty good, and while there are a few improvements I hope come to the future, overall it's a win in my book. On the other hand, the knowledge system itself is pretty rough. The XP rewards from knowledge are very high before level 200, making a good strategy for leveling any skill to just do whatever rewards the most knowledge and dump the points into the skill you actually want to level. This seems a little counterproductive to me, and I could think of some ways that could be fixed, but it might just be intended. The only other critique I have is that there just isn't enough here yet, but that's an early access thing. RuneScape was sorely lacking in content when it came out, and look at it now. Updates have been flowing since release, with multiple quality of life features and bug fixes dropping basically every day, so I expect the content will start flowing soon as well. In short, while it has its flaws, I do recommend that everyone at least try it out. After all, the first 2 episodes are completely free to play. Granted, I feel like the best gameplay is locked up in episode 4, so I would recommend subbing for at least 1 month to try it out. And that's it. I gotta say, Brighter Shores definitely dug its hooks in, but I guess it wasn't that deep. The vending thing really killed it for me. I'll still keep it on my radar, and I might even drop a few videos, but for now, I think I might be headed back to Ashes. Or maybe something else. Who knows? The holidays are always hectic, so I don't get much game time anyways. Do YouTube stuff if you want, or don't, and I'll see you all eventually.